Vanakkam and welcome to the Hindu election conversations. I have had the opportunity to meet you earlier before the polling was done for Tamil Nadu and the very first phase. So today, a day after the results have been declared for Lok Sabha, I'm meeting you again to dissect and decode this result or interpret this result of Tamil Nadu for the audience and the readers of the Hindu. So basically, the results have been truly surprising. I would say that although we all knew that the DMK-led alliance will, win more than 35 seats, I personally did not anticipate them to make a clean sweep. So that has been a big surprise. The reason I do not anticipate that they'll make a clean sweep was because the NDA and the ADMK had put up candidates in certain constituencies where there were too close of a fight. We saw that in the results yesterday. Dharmapuri was one constituency where the PMK gave a very tough fight to the DMK. Likewise, Virudhunagar, which we had earlier seen in one of our videos, was a very close shave. In fact, that is one constituency where the NDA, the ADMK candidate, ADMK supported DMDK candidate, managed to give a very, very good fight to the India candidate there. So it's been very significant. The numbers, as we see, 40 out of 40, 39 in Tamil Nadu, 1 in Puducherry. If you look at the vote share, the DMK managed to get about 26.93% of the votes, total votes polled. ADMK's vote share is about 20.46%. But one big surprise element has been the BJP's performance. This was the first time the BJP was heading a alliance in Tamil Nadu, the NDA. Previously, it was part of the ADMK or the DMK alliance. But for the first time, they headed an alliance and they managed to poll 11.24% of votes. And that has become a talking point now. So joining me today in this episode are T. Ramakrishnan, the senior associate editor who covers the AIDMK and other political parties. And in a short while, also Sai Charan will join me. He's our young reporter who covers BJP and the Tamil Nadu Congress. So first, I'll begin with T. Ramakrishnan, or TRK as we call him. So, TRK, one big surprising factor is the ADMK's performance. The ADMK drawing a blank. We had discussed in the election that the ADMK might perhaps win 1 or 2 seats. We also narrowed down on some seats, possibly Kalakurchi or Erode. But in the end, it's been a very poor performance for the party. So, how do you like to interpret the results of the AIDMK in those elections?
Of course, I expected ADMK to perform better in terms of vote share. Okay, higher vote share, 4 or 5 percentage points more than what it did. So it finished around 20 and odd. Anyway, that's but the point is this: it did not put up heavyweights. Most of them are all unknown faces, and then perhaps new to party cadre, and then of course there was a talk of financial crunch and all that, for even meeting legitimate expenses that were during a campaign. So people didn't want to spend money, that is knowing that they would not succeed. So perhaps these are all some of the factors that might have pulled down the performance. But having said that, of course, Kalakurchi, everybody was saying that it might win. But my thing was that my reading was that ADMK, of course, would not get a single seat, which I conveyed to some big leaders of ADMK also. They were surprised. But I said that because at least Kalakurchi in 2021, you had the alliance with the PMK. Now the PMK is with the BJP. But in Kalakurchi, I think they got about 37%, around 37%. That was, 40%, 40.6%. So I think that was the best performance of ADMK front as a whole. Okay, it touched the 40% mark only in Kalakurchi. And there are certain constituencies where they did well, say like Salem 37.99, Namakkal 37.77, and then you have Viluppuram 35.25. Actually, one of the prominent persons of northern belt of ADMK told me that Viluppuram also we might win. Something like that he said. And of course, you have Vijay Prabhakaran of this Virudhunagar, this DMDK, getting about 36%, 35.87. So these are all the some of the relatively better showing of the ADMK front. But as a whole, its performance has been below par. And then the point is that, of course, first past post system, you have a very formidable alliance, and that alliance is happens to be the ruling dispensation, and number of welfare measures. So the efficacy of the welfare measures that will be reflected. That would otherwise also get reflected in the results. And on this side, on the ADMK side, the party itself is not one of what it was, say, under Jayalalitha. Number one. Number two, you don't have a very big parties on your side. At least had PMK been there, things might have been different, at least in some northern constituencies. So virtually friendless, this ADMK. I think under the given circumstances, yes, it did well in some, but overall, I think I would say that it could have put up a better fight. Okay, because against the kind of alliance that DMK has been able to maintain cohesively for the last so many years. So you can't. I don't think you can win a seat or two in Tamil Nadu, because the composition is such that, and then you see, in a parliamentary constituency, you need to get on an average you need to get 4.5 lakh votes, 4.5 minimum. Okay, so for deputy, say a constituency like Tiruvallur, you need to get at least 6 to 7 lakhs. Okay, so that's the size that we have. So anyway, but I think the internal dynamics of ADMK also one of the reasons is also one of the reasons for the party not being able to put up a better fight. I am disappointed with the party's performance, not because they have not won single seat or something like that, because it has not put up the kind of fight it should have. That's my reading.
Exactly. I mean, this has been a very multi-cornered contest, and in fact, 2014, when there was a multi-cornered contest, in fact, that time the political landscape was even more splintered, with multiple parties fielding candidates. This time we saw a four-cornered contest, right? But yet, although in 2014 the DMK was also pushed to the third place in several constituencies, especially in the south, and in Kanyakumari the party came fourth. This time, the ADMK has also been pushed to the third spot in many constituencies, particularly if you look at the Chennai, Central, and the Chennai, Chennai Central. The party has fared. They got just 9.86%. That is the alliance. The party is ally. DMDK has got only 9.86. And you go down south, it's even more disturbing that Kanyakumari, the vote share is just about 4.02%. Although Kanyakumari has been a national constituency where parties such as the Congress and the BJP traditionally have some support. This sort of a performance of gathering about 4.02% is very glaring. And likewise, you look at Ramanathapuram, where Om Panneerselvam, the former chief minister and expelled ADMK coordinator, contested. The ADMK share has come down to about 8.99%. And down south, even in Tirunelveli, where the BJP fielded Naira Nagendran, its floor leader, it's only 8.39%. So this sort of a thing, do you see, against the backdrop of back-to-back defeats that the ADMK has been having since the death of Jayalalitha? They faced 2019 Lok Sabha polls, they were defeated. Then you had the local body polls, both the urban and the rural segments. and subsequently the assembly, although they managed to win for the alliance about 75 seats, but still it was a loss. And now here comes another defeat. So what are the challenges this is going to pose to Edapadi Palaniswamy, the ADMK General Secretary?
I think already some people have started voicing uh, the demand or the expressing the need for unification or coming together again. JCT Prabhakaran issued a sort of a statement, and then I think in some places in southern districts, I think some posters have come up calling upon V.K. Sasikala, former interim general secretary of the party, and former aide of Jayalalitha, to take over, something like that. But the point is this: uh, the coming together, if that happens without disturbing, I don't know whether that can happen without disturbing Edapadi. Fine, okay. At least in the case of Janaki Jaya coming together, Janaki decided to opt out of politics. So the problem did not arise in this way. I think all others have been accommodated in their own way. Okay, but now, even if OPS and say OPS, if he wants to, if OPS and his colleagues want to come back, and then if so, OPS can't demand the restoration of the coordinator post, so that is ruled out. So that's so for it is it's going to be my thing is that some colleagues might desert OPS and come over to Edapadi. Okay, fine. That is one thing possible. Another is that the TTB. I don't think he would like to wind up his party as Mr. Sarath Kumar did. But just as DMK and MDMK are having some sort of understanding. Okay, see, Vaiko, when he left the party or when he was expelled from the party in 1993, nobody had even imagined that in a matter of few years he would have some sort of electoral tie-up with Karunanidhi or DMK, because the kind of statements he made against some members of the DMK Karunanidhi family, they were all very shocking. Okay, so but in politics, it all happens. Okay, so only the interests matter. Interests of the time of the given time only matter. So what I'm saying, that kind of coming together. Okay, AMMK not abandoning its identity, and then the all other groups of ADMK coming under the banner of ADMK, and then Amumuka and ADMK, just as Bantuti Ramachandran said about OPS and TTB, CPI and CPM, how they are coexisting together, like that also. So sort of is so this kind of option they can explore, but the point is, who is going to take that initiative? That remains the big question. Of course, if they remain divided, the same results will happen. So it's very obvious. Okay, it requires only common sense. So of course, the days are going to be very difficult, because I think there will be some pressure on Edapadi also to patch up with the OPS and others. Okay, and they will also tell him that you can remain, you can do a solo, right? But what for? So what is the use that that you will have by having a solo performance? So I think it remains to be seen how these forces are going to play out, and then that is who is going to take the initiative for bringing together different groups in the ADMK family. That doesn't, I mean, politically.
And if they do, it will be again within 5 years. There will be another reunion. Earlier already there was a split, and then OPS and Edapadi were brought together. Of course, OPS famously said that it was Prime Minister Modi who brought them together. Right? We all saw them shaking hands in the presence of the then governor here. Right. So while we speak about the factionalism, I would like to go to a micro seat, Ramanathapuram. Right. O. Pannirselvam has been 3-time Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. He had the distinction of not losing elections at all in Tamil Nadu. He has been contesting since 2001, and even before that, he has been he has contested municipal elections successfully. But this time in Ramanathapuram, he lost. How would you interpret this loss of O. Pannirselvam? Considering that, the ADMK also previously had its base in Ramanathapuram. The BJP has a good presence in Ramnath. OPS has some personal influence in the constituency on account of his community. And in addition to that, they had the support of the Devendra Kula Vellars on account of the BJP's tie-up with the John Pandyan's party. So, Ed lost. So, what does this reflect on OPS's own strength?
See, I am not surprised about the result or outcome in Ramnath. The point is that the whatever votes he got in Ramnath must have gone from the traditional ADMK supporters. But the point is that he did not contest under the symbol of two leaves. Okay, and then so that makes a difference. Number two is that you have, you see, the point is that lot of, I think so Pannirselvam himself was not, he did not prepare himself to face the electoral battle in Ramnath. He would have preferred to fight it out in Theni, which is his home district and all that. So, in a way, the kind of the certain developments that forced him to choose or to opt for Ramnath. So that would have also worked against him. That would have also gone against him. Thirdly, is of course you have this the community backing, and then the Maravar community to which he belongs, and then. In fact, one of the ADMK persons told me, because I asked him casually, what community does your candidate belong? That is, I mean, the ADMK's candidate in Ramnath. His reply was, sir, this is a Maravar constituency. Okay, that's his reply. So he did not say the ADMK's candidate is a Maravar. That's what I wanted to know. But he says it is a Maravar constituency. So anyway, so that's the that's the factor that operates in the political psyche of certain forces in the southern districts. So, but anyway, with all that, you see, the not having the two leaf symbol is a big handicap. And then, of course, there is a Muslim, factor, and then you are with the BJP, and the kind of campaign BJP Prime Minister everybody did against Muslims also would have made them to forget whatever differences they might have developed with DMK or with the state government in the last 3 years. Now we need to show that anyone being friendly with the BJP can't be allowed to win. So I think that way the Muslims might have en bloc voted against him, and then voted for, of course, the Muslim League candidate. And then you have, you said that, of course, the Yadavas, but I think Raja Kannappan also worked very hard in that area. So that Mudugalaturi area, you have some, that's where he was elected, I think, this time. So he would also think everybody pulled their resources and then pulled up their efforts and then ensured the victory of Nawaz Kani, of IUML. So that's the so it's a very I think the thing if you see the point is in Tamil Nadu, even in an assembly constituency, okay, any person with using his individual clout can't win. That's the otherwise that individual should either belong to DMK front or ADMK front. You don't have independence as members of legislative assembly. Okay, that kind of feature is not at all possible in Tamil Nadu. So if somebody tries to experiment, okay, he or she is welcome, but the result will be what OPS got. Okay, so that's so that way I am not surprised. But the point is that, of course, I understand that is very personally upset and all that. So I told one of his persons that he should have. I don't think he required anybody to tell him that this would be the outcome. Okay. No, he worked hard and all that he said. But anyway, fine is that's fine. But in Ramnad, anyway, the last time also I think DMK front won, and
The same
then
candidate, UML candidate one there, same candidate.
IUML candidate won, and of course this. But the thing is that you see, unless you have some 20-25% vote share, okay, vote base this initially, then if all other factors can work for you, then you can reach up to 40. But you have to start from the scratch, and then that's a very difficult thing. That is, you can there is the kind of performance he put up is it's okay, quite I would say quite impressive. So only this much you can go. Okay.
Exactly, and the very fact that he accepted only one seat in the alliance shows his real strength also. That's a reflection of his real strength because he agreed to contest as an independent and only one seat, whereas the AMMK got 2 seats, even the Tamil Nadu Congress was given 3 seats in the NDA. So that's the difference. And also, of course, like as you said, the Muslim vote consolidated in favor of the IUML, plus the Hindu votes got split, right? There will be other community votes that will have gone to the DMK. Of course, so far as independents are concerned, there are always exceptions. Like we saw TTV Dinakaran winning in RK Nagar. Appau, the current speaker, once won as an independent in this constituency. I think it was 2001 or something when he was denied the DMK. Yeah, so but those are very, very rare exceptions depending on the stature of individual thing. I'll just move across to Sai Charan now. So Sai, this BJP's performance, let's take a look at this. Annamalai, of course, in the run-up to the polls was making very tall claims. He said the BJP will definitely get 25% vote share. He said, you call me on the June 4th, I will answer. But then now it's not been 25% at all. It is 11.24. Right, I would say this is impressive, considering that this time, in many of the constituencies where the BJP contested, it did not have an ally to back them up because the PMK's vote share or the influence is restricted to certain regions in the north and in the west, and we saw the PMK perform very poorly in almost all constituencies except Dharmapuri, right? But the NDA's performance as such, when you take, the data that we discussed and you shared with me just before this live session, it shows that the NDA has performed exceedingly well in the southern part of Tamil Nadu. 22% is their vote share in the 10 constituencies in south. Chennai region, it's three Chennai constituencies, 20%, which is significant urban population. And then, of course, the west, it's 18% of the 9 seats, and the north, excluding the 3 Chennai constituencies, comes to about 16.9%. So, it's quite impressive. These numbers are quite impressive, I must say, considering that the allies were not available to back up each other except a few constituencies. And, in the south, one constituency that caught my attention was Madurai. I did not expect the BJP to come second in Madurai. In the other urban constituencies, of course, people have, moved away from perhaps from the ADMK and, joined the and perhaps backed the BJP and its alliance candidates. So this growth of the BJP compared from previous thing, of course, the local body polls, they did show some promise, but What really matters is a parliamentary election or assembly election. Do you think now the party can carry this, forward, this sort of an vote share improvement? Can it march forward, or will it be constrained by certain factors?
Though the BJP did not get what it was expecting, but it performed really very well, I would say, because the vote share was hardly 3.6, 3.7% in 2019 elections. But this election, they have increased the vote share to 11.2%, which is remarkably very well. And one good thing that the BJP, which was expecting, which fielded popular candidates, it worked out really well, I would say, because in 8 constituencies, in 8 seats, the BJP got more than 25% of votes. If you take Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan and Mr. Annamalai, Ms. Soumya Anbumani, and Mr. Pon Radhakrishnan is the leading. He got 35% of votes. And you have O. Pannirselvam as well, and TTV Dinakaran, Nainar Nagendran, and AC Shanmugam. So all these candidates, they secured about 25% of votes by pushing the AIDMK to the third place. NDA as a whole, they all managed to push the AIDMK to third place in 12 seats. If you see, the BJP's performance was not up to the mark in central zone, basically the delta region, where it got only, the average was only 12.5%. Even the only place where the BJP was pushed to fourth place was Nagapattinam, which was traditionally a communist belt. So BJP was in fourth position. So considering this, I would say the BJP would have assessed that it has a very significant amount of vote share in south as well as west. So the BJP will work. I guess the BJP will work to gain more vote percentage in delta regions, because it did not fielded any popular candidates in the delta region. However, in the western belt, where Mr. Annamalai and Mr. L. Murugan, Soumya Anbumani contested, they really scored a good percentage. So this popularity of the candidates worked out very well for BJP.
Yeah, actually, when you mentioned Soumya of the PMK and the Western Belt, of course, for her, I presume that there's been a significant caste consolidation. It appears that the one-year caste votes have consolidated in her favor, and also the PMK. I think they sent all the resources to Dharmapuri, right, for her victory, to ensure, hoping to ensure a victory. And in the process, where they lost us, this data was very significant. You see the assembly segment wise, it's the Harur assembly segment where there is a, which is a reserved constituency. That's where the turning point came, and she lost. Until then she was leading significantly ahead of a DMK, nearest DMK rival.
Even Soumya was the only candidate from the NDA who gave initial leads, who gave the initial hope to the BJP.
Right.
Other candidates were trailing from round one itself.
Yes, except for Tirunelveli, Naina Nagandan was briefly in the lead, when the postal votes were taken up for counting. So, but ultimately, Harur, which is a scheduled caste segment, the SC segment there, she lost heavily. And that's where the DMK made its gains, and it was able to make a clean sweep of 40-0. But while on the subject, the PMK, they were actually talking to both the alliances. However, of course, Anbumani, Ramdas, and others will deny what we're saying. But the reality is, yes, we know for sure that they were simultaneously holding talks with the AIDMK and the BJP before they finally decided to go with the latter. And they got 10 seats. But you look at the core areas where they fared very poorly. Salem. Now, Salem is one constituency where the PMK was traditionally strong. That is the constituency also where the AIDMK leader Edappadi Palaniswamy has significant influence. It's his native district. But in Salem, the Patali Makkal Katchi candidate this time polled just 9.74% votes. That's a very poor
and he came
show.
third. Yeah, it's a very poor. And if you take even Kallakurchi for that matter, you can see Kallakurchi as well. Kallakurchi, they came the candidate of the Patali Makkal Katchi came fourth. Basically, they got only 5%.
Close to their, their own, what you call the PMK heartland, right? Kallakurchi is there. Namakkal, where the BJP fielded its candidate, KP Ramalingam.
It's a very popular candidate. Yes.
Poorly, right? They fared very poorly. So, which means the PMK's vote did not transfer. In fact, when the PMK allied with the BJP, there were strong reports saying the district secretaries were not happy about it. The PMK district secretary was very upset because they favored the AIDMK. They favored an alliance with the AIDMK, but instead the party leadership chose, for reasons best known to itself, to align with the BJP. That seems to have reflected heavily. Of course, like I mentioned
Yes, as
previously,
you said earlier that the PMK votes were not transferred to the BJP. We could very
yes,
well see with the data that in South the BJP got 22%, which PMK doesn't have any stake over there. But wherever
exactly,
PMK has stake, it was very less. Even in the Delta region,
exactly.
PMK
That's
has
right.
considerable. It enjoys considerable amount of clout among 1 years, but it was only 12.5%.
Exactly, exactly. That's right. As you mentioned, right, South is entirely the BJP's thing. Of course, in South, the percentage will also gone up because TTV Dinakaran contested in Teni, he polled a significant number of votes, and of course,
Yes.
OPS in Ramanathapuram. So that would have aided. Kanyakumari, of course, has been their traditional bastion. It selected the BJP candidate in the past. We have had former Union Minister Pon Radhakrishnan, who lost this time. He is a very well-known face there. He has been elected in the past, but this time again, he has lost consecutively for the second time. So that way, if you notice, like the PMK's alliance with the BJP has really not helped them, much. So that is very quite like Dindigul. Of course, Dindigul is neither the BJP is strong nor the PMK is strong. But yet, for some reason, PMK wanted that seat, and their candidate Telangama got just 9.79%, and they came third, I guess. Right. So that's been
Even in 2019, they got the seat, and then the margin was huge. That time, Mr. Velusamy of the DMK, who won the election, was winning by over 5.5 lakh votes.
exactly, exactly. You're right. You're right about that. So, now, going by these numbers, I will just move on to TRK for a while, right? For some more micro level attention on this, right? So, TRK,
Uh-huh.
basically, if you notice, like, the AIDMK and the BJP were traveling together. And then one fine day, there was a dispute between them, over comments about CN Annadurai, channels, and others. It reached a flashpoint, and then the alliance snapped, right? And now, post polls, going by the results, there is a wider talk that had these parties been together, had the NDA in Tamil Nadu been intact with the BJP, AIDMK, DMDK, Tamil Nadu Congress, then they would have fared well. In fact, some analysts are even commenting that, had this alliance remained intact, they would have definitely not allowed a clean sweep for the DMK. They might even want 10 to 15 seats. Do you agree with this proportion? If they were together, they would have won seats. Is there a scope for a revival of this alliance on the basis of these assessments?
Of course, in some seats we can't. We can keep on speculating the number of seats. The such an alliance would have won had there been such an alliance in place. But the point is that there was no such alliance, and moreover, ADMK, somehow, somehow, if you see that immediately couple of weeks after the assembly election results in May 21, it was C.V. Shanmugam who started this debate. Okay, of course you can eventually blame Annamalai for causing the divorce. The point was that the seeds were sown by Mr. C.V. Shanmugam at some meeting in Viluppuram. So he said that we lost minority votes, blah, blah, and all that he said. So the debate started from that point. Of course, immediately it was laid to rest, both by Edapadi and... but nobody, nobody forgot that episode. Okay. And then if you look at suddenly at a workshop that was held at the party office in July 2022, it was C. Ponnayan, and we were the only newspaper to report that event. Okay, the others picked up only from next year onwards. So we were the only paper to report that that Mr. Ponnayan accused BJP of trying to grow in Tamil Nadu at the cost of AIDMK. See, so this kind of the feeling of uneasiness among ADMK towards BJP, it has been there for quite some time. So it just, you can't, of course, the anomaly came in sometime in 2021, August or July, something like that. And then from then onwards, he started carrying on his own campaign. But that is then the local body, urban local body elections in February 2022. There you had that break. Okay, both of them decided to part ways. So that, everybody thought that was a local election, local bodies election, so local factor. But then from that onwards, you see, then Mr. Annamalai started saying that ours is the third largest party, etc. Blah blah. That kind of claim he started making, and then that's all for the background. Let us come to these elections. We don't know whether the arithmetic factor would have worked the way it did in respect of DMK front, or had there been the people who would have who voted for BJP, whether they would have voted entirely for ADMK BJP alliance. That it's a matter of it's a debate, and also so yes, so plus or minus few percentage points. So the what they got was, say, this is 23%, and now they got about, I think, 17%. So 40%, they say. Maybe they might have got about 35. 35 is still not good enough. Okay, you have 47 DMK front. Maybe Nam Tamlar Katchi. My point is this Nam Tamlar Katchi, because there is no problem with that kind of constituency. So the problem is this the ADMK and BJP, even though they call themselves natural allies sometimes, but they also overlap their constituency in terms of social profile of their vote base. It sometimes overlaps. So
are you referring to the soft Hindutva vote base by any chance?
Not necessarily, but anti-DMK, that is one thing. But perhaps the feeling is that the traditional anti-DMK people, people who have been voting against DMK for 30, 40 years, they would have felt that the present ADMK leadership is not as effective, or they have been having some sort of understanding. Okay, so there is some sort of unhappiness with the present leadership of the ADMK in its handling with the DMK. So that could be there. I am not saying soft Hindutva because urban middle class, not only urban middle class, but Mr. Annamalai has been able to make he has been able to create some sort of a base, cutting across communities, cutting across classes also, I would say. So I myself had seen him addressing crowds of different social backgrounds. Okay, so it A, B, C, all classes are there for Annamalai, but only perhaps if he is given some more time, and then perhaps he tries to change his style of functioning, and then makes himself friendlier and all that, then he might succeed. He will be able to cut into the votes of ADMK in a big way. That is okay. But the point is that, but anyway, that's a separate thing. But as far as this the question about the hypothetical question, whether there had been an alliance, what would have happened? Yes, they might have won in some seats, 3 or 4 seats they might have won, not beyond that. But and they might have there is an element of say vote transfer not taking place also, and then having let us see whether this for the 2026 election whether they are going to revive their patch up. But if you see for a comparison in Delhi, AAP and Congress, they struck a deal, but they were not able to get a single seat.
Yes.
Because the Congress vote share was virtually taken away by AAP.
That's true.
Okay.
Yes.
Vote base was virtually hijacked. So then the residual vote base of Congress, so the people in that base, how would they reconcile themselves with AAP? There is leaders might shake hands, Sonia and Arvind Kejriwal, but so that could have happened. That's why I think that the benefit of alliance did not work. So sometimes then that possibility is still there in Tamil Nadu also with regard to, because the kind of unpleasant exchange of words that has happened over the years between ADMK and BJP. And even if you strike a deal, right, okay, for the sake of a deal, I don't know whether it will be successful. It's whether it will yield dividends. So that's the question we have to ask. And then, so yes, statistically speaking, it would have made my job much more, I would say, simple. Okay, I could have reduced. I can reduce, from now 3 columns to 2 columns. But the point is we don't know whether that would have gone the way, and then people are visualizing or imagining, and then for 2026, I don't think that they will come together. I think ADMK Edappadi doesn't want to, because Edappadi's point is that you need to create confidence among minorities. That can happen not through one election. Okay, so this is election number 1. So if you remain independent of BJP, then only, and then you go to the electorate in 2026 without the company of BJP, then some sections might come over to you. But if you are going to say that no, we will patch up and all that, then so he was not expecting minority support in a big way this time. Okay, this is a sort of a teaser. This is a sort of a trailer. Okay,
Or a
so
semi-final, like C.V. Shanmugam mentioned.
Right.
Semi-final before the finals.
Yes. Only they are all preparing their party for 2026. So for which they need to create confidence in the minds of minorities. Yes, that they will stay out of BJP fold, and so that's I think that's their strategy as of now. And I don't think if they change this, then there will be no credibility, even if they fall apart after some time, which is going to happen. Okay, even if they join, because BJP wants to grow, BJP wants to become number 2 or number 1 party. See, BJP doesn't want to play second fiddle to ADMK all the time. Okay, so that's fine. So then in that case, ADMK's fall will be much more steep than what it is now.
I agree on this. In fact, in politics, consistency matters, and not always 2 + 2 works out to 4. Right, so that is there. So while on this subject, if you remember, soon after the elections, Edappadi Palaniswamy had an internal meeting, and in the internal meeting, he had complained that some of the district secretaries had not worked the way he wanted them to. Basically, there seems to be some lack of drive among the district secretaries in backing up Edappadi Palaniswamy's campaign against the DMK and the BJP. Right? So when we look at the results, say for instance Coimbatore is one seat where traditionally the ADMK has been very strong, right? But in that seat, now the ADMK has been pushed to the third place. And Annamalai, who contested there, has managed to get about 32.79% entirely on his own. And he's a man raring to go who wants to take the party forward, improve its vote share, and all those things. But do you see a possibility of somewhere, some sections of the ADMK working behind the scenes to benefit the BJP for extraneous reasons? Or it's just that since the DMK had a stronger alliance in Coimbatore and Annamalai was also, really driving a hard campaign, the ADMK, despite having a very good candidate there, Singai Ramachandran, did not perform better.
Yes, that possibility can't be ruled out. There is some sections of the party might have facilitated some transfer of votes from the ADMK camp to the BJP. Okay, but the point is that Annamalai has been running a very high-profile campaign, and then the kind of autonomy he got and he was given. You see. I don't think any one of his predecessors would have got. Okay, even Ela Ganesan did not have this kind of autonomy, and then he was able to bring in all the big shots. So the kind of support he got, you see, that is something I would say phenomenal. Okay, it is unheard of as far as Tamil Nadu BJP is concerned. So he created the perception, very strong perception, that he's being backed very strongly by the BJP high command. So and then that created a big, I would say, dent in ADMK base also. And then of course this the ADMK's what shall I say, convulsions, and then the churnings, and all. It's a never-ending story. So there is a section of people who are getting frustrated with this state of affairs. So all this, I won't rule out that if you say for what reasons they facilitated, we don't know. Okay. And I don't think we should also speculate. Okay, but the point is, yes, that possibility is there. But then, because if they would have thought, those who would have facilitated thought that anyway BJP would come to power. Then after that, we need to work with them very closely for their own benefit and all that. So we will do something at least now. So maybe that factor also would have operated. I am not ruling it out, but the point is Annamalai's style of leaving aside style of functioning, but the campaign that he has been doing ever since he was made state president, and then very intense, very intensive campaign, and then he did extensively also, and then the kind of support he received from the media and his own, of course, the high command of the party is very unheard of. That is so that created a perception. Yes, here is a person who can get things done for us. So let us vote for him. So that would have I think that would have been the big push factor for him. And then all this what the factor that you are saying would have also contributed, but but if somebody is getting around 33%, okay, in a constituency of some 14 or 13 lakh voters, it's not a small thing. Okay, he got about 4.5 lakh votes and all that.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen just through mere transfer of votes from A party to B party. It's a combination of factors, and then so we will also let us give him credit for his labor. Okay.
Indeed, yes, because in Tamil Nadu, I would say that the BJP is identified more with Mr. Annamalai rather than with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. right? The younger voters get attracted to Annamalai on account of him being a former IPS officer, and of course his aggressive style of functioning. So that's one reason why the party is also going forward. I think it will improve its vote share. So I'll just quickly move on to Sai Charan. One particular aspect here. So Sai, basically yes, we have seen political parties go through ups and downs in Tamil Nadu. Established parties in one election get a very high vote share, and the next one they go down. The performance falls, and then there's a sort of a ups and downs keep happening in the graph. But one political party that has been consistently growing in Tamil Nadu is the Nam Tamil Kachchi. Right, Seaman fielded 40 candidates in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, 20 of them women, most of them educated, quite a few of them doctors. He entered the electoral scene sometime in 2016. And from there, if you see, from 1% to 3.56% or something on that scale to about 6%. And now this election is 8.21% in a parliamentary election. Right, this growth has been consistent. He has been improving, every time from the previous election. But at the same time, in terms of winning seats, absolutely nil. Right, they've not been able to make any breakthrough in terms of winning seats. But some of the candidates have performed well. Like you mentioned, Nagapattinam, where they came third. I think there was one of the constituency also where they performed, one or two other constituencies where they managed an equally good performance. So, what do you think is driving this NTK's growth, the Nam Tamil Kachchi's growth in Tamil Nadu?
It's quite surprising because they performed very well, as you said, from 6.5%, nearly 6.5%. They managed to get 8.2. They are more likely to get the state party status now. If you see the percentage of votes in 12 seats this election, they polled more than 1 lakh votes. In 20 seats, their vote percentage was above 8%. Above 8% in 20 seats. Though they didn't even win a single seat, though they didn't even get deposit in single seats, they managed to get this third spot in 5 seats by pushing the NDA. In some seats, they pushed the NDA to 4th spot. So they are performing phenomenally well. As you said, Seaman has been consistent in fielding 50% of women candidates since 2019 elections. Even in 2021 elections, he fielded the growth of Nam Tamilar party has to be seen. We cannot deny Nam Tamilar. So they are performing very well. But my doubt is any party in Tamil Nadu getting 10%, at least 10 to 12% of vote, they can manage. But beyond that, you need to break the vote base of some other party, especially some other Dravidian party. Now the BJP is also a key player here. So the Nam Tamilar Kachchi will have a huge challenge in breaking any of these vote bases to grow more than 12 or 15% in the coming elections.
Exactly, and you look at the growth, the votes polled, if it's not just the rural constituency that they perform better, even in a constituency like, say Chennai Central, Chennai North, their candidate has got about 10.63% votes in an urban constituency. And then in Shivaganga, again, they've got about 15.51%.
15% votes.
Yeah, so that's been very significant. We got to see how they grow. And of course, by 2026, the landscape in Tamil Nadu, political landscape, will also change dramatically if Actor Vijay enters, right? Because if he is going to take up the space of the new entrant, then what happens to the other parties? That is a key question. So what we'll do is, Shika, do we have any time for taking questions from the audience quickly? Yeah, Rajesh has asked, what is your say on the Ayodhya result? Although, of course, we are discussing on Tamil Nadu, I would request the audience to keep your questions on Tamil Nadu. But in any case, since Rajesh has asked this, TRK, would you like to comment on this, the result in Ayodhya?
Result in Ayodhya. Okay, that's see, 1989, I think, Parliament election, Lok Sabha election. It was then that campaign started, Ram Janmabhoomi campaign started. Even at that time, Communist Party of India won that time Ferozabad, same seat. So the point is that then several times Samajwadi Party had won. It's not that It's a pocket borough of BJP. Of course, BJP has been at one several times, which we are not saying, because when you win some 60, 70 seats out of 80, then all this will happen. But the point is that, but this time it's very significant. You see, consecration event was over only some 4 months ago. And even the timing of the event, there was some controversy. In fact, my brother, a few weeks ago, he went there. He told me some construction activity is still on. So the temple construction is not yet over, even after 3-4 months after the event. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but the point is this: but if they thought that the construction consecration, if that happened in January, that would fetch me votes and all that. So I think people are smart enough to distinguish between what you do, okay, on the temple front and what you do on the governance front are different. Okay, if I am not satisfied on the second, I will not vote for you, and that's the message. I think that's a very good message that people have given, and we must compliment them for giving this message. And it is a message to all political parties. So let us please don't mix religion with politics, and you may get sometimes some benefits sometimes, but people are smart enough to see through your game.
I think that's a very valid point you made. We need to compliment the people, the voters there, for sending across a message that don't mix, politics and religion. So we look if there's any other question there from the audience. Yeah, Pradeep M, what is your opinion on Seeman? How long can he keep fighting without results? Yeah, it's like Sai Charan said, essentially you can get your vote share, but what will ultimately matter is, winning seats. And to win seats, like TRK earlier mentioned, you need to have an independent vote share of at least 25 to 30%, because in a large constituency in parliamentary elections, unless you poll about 40% of the votes in a particular constituency, you really can't win seats. But can Seeman align with any other party? Now, that's a key question, because the votes that Seeman is getting is from people who don't want the AIDMK, who don't want the DMK, who don't want the left parties, who are opposed to the BJP, and who are looking at an alternative, right? So he has been appealing to that sense of that group of audience. This section of audience includes a lot of youngsters. In fact, youngsters from class 11 onwards in the rural areas are attracted towards Seeman. There's a significant percent of women also who's attracted to Seeman generally. But ultimately, mere growth in terms of vote share alone will not help, because to fight elections also you need resources. Without financial resources, it's very difficult to fight elections. So, how long can he keep fielding young candidates, educated candidates across the state when they don't win, seats? That's a key question. So sooner or later we'll know, because unless the DMDK tried going it on its own in the initial days, but after the first couple of elections, they did go in for an alliance. In the end, of course, because they went for an alliance, the party ultimately ended up being decimated. But I think you need to play your politics carefully also in an alliance. You need to know when to join an alliance and when to exit, and on what grounds to exit, so that people accept you and your politics. Female voters have been the X factor this election. Female voters have always been with the AIDMK, but the changing of parties is breathtaking. Of course, yes, once upon a time when Jayalalitha was around, she would attract a lot of women. Every time she visited the party office, there will be a big crowd of women. Now you don't get to see that. We don't know where exactly these women voters have shifted their allegiance, but some may have gone to the DMK, some would have gone to the BJP. In urban areas, of course, I can see that some of them have moved to the BJP. In the rural areas, there's a section of women, like I said, mentioned earlier, they have moved to the Nam Tamil Katchi. But the ADMK, of course, the traditional voters remain largely intact except for the shrinking vote base. Pradeep was making a comment here. The best chance for ADMK for 2026 would be OPS, TTV, Shashikala to rejoin ADMK. Anti-DMK votes are being split way too much now. Plus, with Vijay coming in, ADMK needs to get them back. I think this issue was addressed by TRK when he mentioned, what would happen. There are already appeals within the ADMK for unity. So that point has been addressed earlier. Rajesh, and what does this depict about BJP's power in general? So TRK, although he has not mentioned what he means by this, I think he's generally asking about the BJP's, defeat in Ayodhya, and at the same time in national level, not winning adequate numbers on its own in this election, despite being in power for 10 years. I think that's what the viewer would have meant.
You see, there is first of all the BJP or what the Modi has been saying, that the Modi ka guarantee and all that they were talking about some guarantees. Of course, that's the term they borrowed from Congress. Okay, it's all right for Congress to use that term because Congress has been an opposition party for the last 10 years. But for a party that has been in power for last 10 years, how can you say guarantees? So there is some anyway. But anyway, I don't think politicians think very logically, rationally, and then make some anyway. Fine. So Modi ka guarantee and all right. Okay. So, but that doesn't see this inflation is one important issue that affects all people cutting across communities, classes, etc., etc. And then unemployment. Okay, and I've been telling some of our colleagues this time, Indian Institutes of Management, for the first time in their history, they wrote to their alumni. Okay, sort of SOS. There's a section of our students not getting placed. Please accommodate them. Please give them some jobs. So they sent them SOS. So the educated middle class is no longer happy with you because you keep on blaming Nehru, keep on blaming Indira Gandhi, keep on blaming Rajiv. All right, that is what all happened some 50, 60 years ago. But they are not so that doesn't solve their problem, you see. So these are some of the livelihood issues. Okay, and then all that would have they are far more important than the card of religion or culture. Okay, yeah? And I think that they have not understood adequately. That's why they kept on talking about Muslims, etc., etc., and all that they were saying. And then what eventually, at the fag end of his campaign, that 7-phase campaign, you see, we had polling. Only then he said that I did not blame Muslims, etc. So the point is this: the livelihood issues affect everybody. Okay, and if the party in power is viewed as one that overlooks these issues, and voters are not likely to prefer that party. Of course, I would have expected, I thought that I would have expected BJP to lose much more. But anyway, the kind of message that the people of Uttar Pradesh had delivered, that itself is a big message. And I think, I hope it will provide some clues for course correction on the part of BJP.
Yeah, Odisha and Bihar voters thought differently, though. All right, so we'll look at a couple of more questions. Yeah. Why has the BJP, despite a vigorous campaign, been unable to secure a single seat in Tamil Nadu? Does this outcome validate Rahul Gandhi's statement in Parliament? Sai. So basically, I think the references to Rahul Gandhi's comment, the very famous comment, you can never ever, right, in your entire life, rule over the people of Tamil Nadu. So I think this person wants to know about that. So does this result in Tamil Nadu 40-0 validate Rahul Gandhi's comment, or do you see that the BJP had come within striking distance but missed somewhere?
No, the thing is, BJP performed very well in this election. But though they were not able to win any seats in Tamil Nadu, they managed to increase their vote share. But considering that here the BJP is fighting two Dravidian parties in other states, either the BJP is fighting Congress or either BJP is fighting one regional party. So here BJP doesn't have a larger base. It was during the time of Tamilisai Soundararajan, she made a solid little base, and then L. Murugan attempted to build during COVID, and then Annamalai, it grew very much. So I think it will take some more time for the BJP to get seats on its own, because BJP has 4 MLAs, but they are not BJP's own MLAs. They won it by the aligning with the ADMK. So I feel that it might take some time. It might take some time, definitely. Not very near, I would say.
Yeah. So BJP has to go beyond Sengol. They have to go beyond Kashi Tamil Sangamam, go beyond Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam, beyond using constitutional authorities to promote certain narratives, and really winnow the hearts of the people of Tamil Nadu if it needs to really win some seats. So we'll look at a final question. It's from Imdadul Haq. Is there any possibility of Chandrababu Naidu joining the India now? TRK, would you like to take that?
No, but for the time being, he would prefer to be with the NDA, because otherwise his credibility will suffer. Okay, and then he has just got back power. Okay, of course, formally he has not taken over, but I don't think the point is that he may. But if in the negotiations for power sharing, if things don't go the way he wants to have, now I think he will be in a better bargaining position than otherwise. That is, in the sense, assuming that the BJP got a simple majority, then in that case, in that scenario, there would not have been any scope for negotiation. But now they will be, trying to extract as much as they can. So that if that doesn't work out, you see, you need to create a reason for ending your relationship. Okay, so that maybe, but that's possible. But point is that, say, even if Nitish Kumar, assuming that Nitish Kumar also follows suit, assuming that the Babu will cross over, and then Nitish, then you see the India government will be a very unstable government from the beginning, because the principal constituent of the party is not having even 3-digit number in lower house, okay, in Lok Sabha. So it is not going to last. It's even if that government comes into being, that won't last. So anyway, but so BJP will try to form the government, and then let us see. Of course, the differences are bound to erupt. And then this time, neither Nitish Kumar nor Chandrababu Naidu will remain quiet, even initially. Okay, this time because they have got numbers, and those numbers through those numbers they can intimidate or even threaten BJP. So, but for the time being, I don't foresee the possibility of Babu joining India. But if the BJP doesn't agree to many of his demands, then he might follow a different path. So that's. Anyway, I think that may happen only in distant future, not now.
Yeah, and Chandrababu Naidu, as we all know, is a very, very smart negotiator. We have seen him negotiating with different alliances in the past. He even got his nominee elected as speaker once upon a time in the Lok Sabha. And of course, let's not underestimate the BJP's politics also. They also know how to win over MPs. We have seen that in the last 5 years, right? So on that note, I mean, this discussion has been very fascinating, I must say. We started off discussing Tamil Nadu, and then in the end, we ended up answering questions from viewers on a range of subjects covering different parts of the country. So I thank you all for joining me. I thank TRK and Sai Chavan also for joining me in this discussion. We shall meet you in another video. Until then, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. Please do continue to log on to the Hindu website as well as our subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such informative videos. Thank you.